just come on the market. So good morning and welcome to Live from Western New York. And we will start out by welcoming you from our leadership team, which includes, of course, as you all know, Matthew Whitehead, Kathy Bianchi, Lou Alimo, and Ken Winowski from First Priority Mortgage. And as you can see, Ken's name and title not his name hasn't changed, but his title's changed to president. And again, we want to wish Ken the best as he takes on this new role at First Priority Mortgage. Ken, congratulations. And we're so happy that you can be with us on Monday mornings. We hope that will continue. And I know you're all looking at me and thinking that I'm wearing red because I'm a Kansas City fan, but I do have to say that I'm wearing it because tomorrow's Valentine's Day. And I just wanted to kick off the meeting by saying we love our Hanna family in Western New York and want to extend a happy Valentine's Day from the leadership team at Howard Hanna in Western New York. And welcome to our newest Hanna Realtors, including Rebecca from Henrietta, Shah from Henrietta, Musa in the Penfield office, and Rebecca in Lancaster, as well as all of the other new agents who joined us in the last 30 days. So we wish you well in 2023 and beyond. And we hope that you enjoy your new role as a Realtor, especially with us at the Howard Hanna Real Estate Company. Thank you. And let's move on to our newest segment, which I hope you're enjoying, which is the Office Spotlight segment. And this morning, we're going to be joining Manager Adam Clark from our Brockport, New York location. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning. How are you?
We are great. Anxious to hear all about Brockport this morning.
Well, it's a little bit noisy out here, but I wanted to give a little bit of a tour of the main street here. We are here in the village of Brockport. And you can see behind me that there is the bridge, which is one of the main attractions here in Brockport. However, we were just told not too long ago that the bridge is going to be going through construction like they did in Fairport. So we're going to be down starting in April for about 18 months. So our prime location here on Main Street is unfortunately not going to be so prime for a little while. However, so let me just flip my screen around here. Get a little idea of nice little village here in Brockport, known as the Victorian Village on the Erie Canal, founded in 1823, incorporated 1829. And here's our office here. One interesting fact about the village itself is that it was founded by two gentlemen that didn't get along. So none of the cross streets actually run into each other. One fellow was in charge of one side, another fellow in charge of the other side. So we ended up with a whole bunch of disconjoined streets here in the village of Brockport. A number of points of interest here, obviously the Erie Canal Boardwalk and Visitor Center. We have the Morgan Manning House, and of course, SUNY Brockport College, which gives us a lot of rental industry here in the village itself. So the average sale price in the village is just over 100,000 and 109,000. But the Brockport School District, which encompasses a little bit bigger of an area, has an average sale price of $225,000. So we have quite a range here. Lots of community events. This Main Street has many parades over the course of time, over the course of the year. We're within close proximity to the lake and less than 20 minutes to downtown Rochester. So quite convenient location. So one of the other things that I wanted to do today is I want to give a little quick tour of our office, which just went through a renovation within the last year. And you can see up top, we have the beautiful exposed brick, which will be the common theme throughout. And there's our administrative assistant, Eileen, who's not feeling so well this morning, but she's a trooper and came in. And we have manager office over in here. Again, exposed brick. Lovely painting by Doug Ligori's mother that I'm cherish very much. Big office working area. This is where we do our meetings. Of course, we have the showcase of homes running on the TV. Beautiful conference room, again with the exposed brick. Beautiful kitchen here, new countertops just installed not too long ago. And then we have a couple more agent offices down here on the first floor. We actually enjoyed both the first floor and the second floor of this unit, but the first floor just got the new facelift, and we have a bunch of agent offices upstairs.
Yours does it say
Which
no lower right-hand tray? It should say.
So that is the office in a nutshell.
That's beautiful what you did. You know, I love the offices that we have that are storefronts. You know, I've always loved walking through an area and stopping in front of a real estate office and looking at photos. And I know a lot of people do, you know, we're all so visual. And I love that you have, it looked like you had pictures of properties in your front window. Do you get a lot of walk-in? Do you get a lot of walk-in business there?
Oh, we have a ton of walking business. And that's one of the sad things about the bridge closing is that, I mean, there are probably 20, 30 people a day in the wintertime that are stopping and taking a look at the listings there. So unfortunately, with the bridge closure, we're going to lose a little of that, but we've got a lot of events planned because behind our building is actually the municipal parking lot. And we have a number of events there over the course of the summertime. So we actually get to do both sides of the building. So we're very fortunate in that respect.
That's awesome. Love your new digs. Love the exposed brick.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Job designing that space, and thank you for sharing it all. Does anybody on the leadership team have anything to add to that or to ask Adam, Kathy, or Lou?
I'm Adam. Yeah. What they're not telling you, or what Adam's not telling you, the canal, like it's right there. It's right there. You open the back door, you go, I don't know, 10 feet, 20 feet. There's the canal.
Very nice. Thank you
we'll
very
give you a
much.
Quick lead right out here, the back door.
Mm-hmm.
Into the municipal parking lot. There it is right here.
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Just beautiful.
Well, there you go. That's Brockport, everyone. Excellent. I just love this new segment because it's really, you know, last week we had Curtis Newrider, you know, at Highmark Stadium. You know, this morning we get to see the canal and Adam and the new office. And it's so, you know, when we think about it, you know, globally, I mean, we're so close to one another that I love that this segment is really pointing out, you know, average sale prices and opportunities in our market. And for our agents that are on and our management as well, to meet managers, we feel comfortable going into one another's offices with clients and customers, or just to run in and use the bathroom, whatever. But I love this segment, and I hope you all do too. And we would appreciate your input on this, but it's giving us such good insight into all of the markets that we cover here in the Buffalo, Rochester, and surrounding areas. So thank you, Adam. You can sign off now, and appreciate your time. So next we have our wonderful leader, Lou Alimo, who's going to talk to us this morning about, you know, listings and opportunities that are out in the market. And it's, you know, we talked about the Super Bowl being last night, and someone mentioned that this is the day after the Super Bowl is the most missed work day of the entire year. And I'm not surprised to hear that, because so many parties and, you know, so much fun. But, you know, I was thinking about it this morning and I thought, wow, Super Bowl's over. Football season, you know, is over for a while. And you know what that means? It means that open houses are going to be, you know, much better attended now. Especially because we're going into the spring market as well. But so many people, you know, really work their schedule around, in our case, it was the Buffalo Bills, obviously. But for many football fans, they'll be out and about, you know, in full force now for open houses, we're hoping. So I know Lou's going to touch on that a little bit today. So Lou, we look forward to hearing some of your insights that you want to share with us this morning. So welcome to you.
Well, welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Charlene. Good morning, everybody. I do want to talk a little bit today about, you know, the do's and don'ts of when listing in a low inventory market. And one that we're focused on this year as a company is we're focused on units. And the reason why we're focused on units is because over the last 4 years, we've seen our units drop. And, you know, our volume has stayed clear. I know in the Rochester area, I mean, the 1.5 billion that we did back in 2019 is about what we did in 2022, but our units dropped about 2,000. So it's a huge number because when you look at it, our average sale price was 176 back in 2019, and now we're up to 230. So again, I think the company's taken a stance on, you know, let's get back to trying to get more units. Listings are the mainstay of what we do in the business. There's always been that old proverb that, you know, listers last. And I think that it's important. So when we look at the numbers for, you know, New York State, and these were shared with us last week, we're up 11%, you know, for the state. Now, for Western New York, we're down 2, and we're down actually 2 units. So last year at this time, we had 600 listings, 602 listings. This year we have 600. So we're doing a good job as far as what we need to do. But again, I wanted to talk to just the mere fact that, you know, things that you should think about, and the do's of, you know, when you have that opportunity. And I think the most important thing that I've always talked to agents about was that when you get an opportunity and someone contacts you, you should make sure that you don't give too much information out over the phone. And setting the appointment is really the key factor there. Because if you share too much information with the client when you're talking on the phone, then it's going to be harder for you to set an appointment because you've already given them the information that they wanted. So think about that when you have an opportunity. Also, to, you know, pull the information from Realist, just to kind of see where the square footage, the bedrooms, and the baths are, because you'll be very surprised. Sometimes you'll walk into a house that has an extra bathroom that was put in, or, you know, there was an addition that maybe it wasn't on a permit, or a permit wasn't pulled. So just to be conscious of, make sure that you get your information correct when you walk into that appointment. And while you're viewing the property, make sure that you take everything into consideration. You know, right now, from what we're seeing and talking to agents, is the condition of these properties is really the key factor. I mean, you know, I've seen houses that have been bought, and I can give you an example. I actually sold a house in a Runaway, and it was definitely not, it was very dated, and it sold for about 185. Someone bought that house. They turned around and they cleaned it up and fixed it up, and they updated the kitchen and the bathrooms and the floors, and they turned around, put it up on the market, and ended up getting $250 for it. So again, is that still happening? It absolutely is, because I've seen it. So be conscious of, when you're going into these properties, what these properties look like and how well they can be adjusted, you know. And when you look at that, the condition is priority. The location and the motivation then will follow with what your client needs are. Understanding what the client needs should be well thought and strategized, because again, understanding what your client wants is always the most important thing. So when you're talking to them, where are they with it? Again, don't want more for the client than they want. Help them, you know, show them what's going on. I mean, it is a mindset. So we have to help them. Each market changes enough to where we can help them through what we're seeing and what we're doing on a daily basis with our clients. You know, and again, reaching out to your managers, finding out what they're seeing, stopping us when we're in offices and ask us what we're seeing through the different offices that we go to, you know. And I think it's important that you have a strong presentation of not only the comps, but, you know, what the market is in that area, and then having a good strategy and a marketing plan. Because, you know, even though these properties are still selling quite quickly, I think you have to go into it with the mindset of, what if it doesn't? And if it doesn't, it's going to be because right now, from what we're seeing, a lot of it is the condition of the property, how well updated it is. You know, we're still seeing people pay more for properties because they are updated, right? There is a new kitchen in there. There's a new roof. There's a new furnace. You know, there's all the things that they don't have to reach out and say, well, you know, I could just, update his kitchen, but I'm going to pay more for it. So it's a mindset that you have to kind of help the clients through. So when you're talking to a potential seller, helping them understand that it's just not about them getting all the money for the property. It's about what type of condition and what somebody's willing to pay. We've always said that in the real estate game. Your property is only worth what somebody will pay. Okay. And right now we're seeing more that it's geared on the condition of the property. So make sure that you have that, well, the other thing too, is we've been looking at the last few years is using a price per square footage approach. And I've talked to a lot of agents that utilize new home construction, and a lot of them are saying to me that, when we price things out at new home construction, there's things that you don't get. Right. So you don't get a fully landscaped yard. You don't get a finished basement. You don't get a pool. You don't get a fenced yard. So, when you look at the price per square foot versus a new house, there's going to be comparisons. Right. So we are seeing the price per square foot move up because people are seeing value in that. So when you start to gauge that and you start to do your comps, take a look at your price per square foot and what that's looking like in each different township, because I think that is a huge important part of when you're pricing out a home. One thing I've always used, I've used the RPR, the Realist, and the MLS, and I've taken an average of all three to kind of come into, what that looks like for the house that you're kind of going to be comping out, because I know it's kind of difficult right now because, again, we are low on inventory. There are still an abundance of buyers out there. We're seeing that. So, what's a good price strategy? So I think if you look at those three programs, that'll give you a good gauge. And I think that's kind of where you want to start. And I only go back about 6 or 8 months. I think we're still seeing that you have the opportunities to only take what's going on in the market that we're in. Some of the don'ts, again, I think about this, don't pass up on any listing of the price, again, but have a plan in place. So if you're talking with a seller and they're a little bit more on the high side, have an agreement with them, talk about that. We used to talk about that years ago with taking an overpriced listing, but still having a 30, 60, 90-day plan for the seller and letting them know, okay, within the next 2 weeks, if we're not getting the activity, are you in agreement that we can drop the price X amount of dollars? If you need to get it in writing, you can do that as well. But I think that's a big part of not walking away from anything right now, because with the lack of inventory, we just don't know what the buyers are going to do. Be prepared for all objections, in this market when you're listing at your listing appointment. Put in the seller's mindset that you're going to take control of the situation, and help them. Don't pass up on open houses. I think open houses are the key to increasing your units. Take the time to do a special open house for the street, the neighbors, find out what's going on in their situation. Find out where, they are with, how long they're going to stay in their home. Build that rapport with them. Find out if they want to pick their neighbor. I mean, that was always a good, ploy to try to get more opportunities to chat with them. And you can see on the screen, the open house activity calendar. I mean, that's a great calendar to help you if you're not really 100% comfortable in doing open house, or you're not really sure where the starting point is and the ending point is. I mean, this is a great cheat sheet that you can have and utilize to help you. I mean, there's a great opportunity to take advantage of, open houses to build your business and build the listing inventory. Send out those postcards to the street. And if the house sells fast, continue to market it. I say this to a lot of people because they say, oh yeah, it's sold, that's done, I'm all done with it. But you shouldn't. You should be able to work that listing to its fullest capacity, because again, that's your opportunity to pick up more and more and more business. Again, somebody's seeing your sign all the time. Really, promote it so that you do kind of strategize and do an open house and build your pipeline of buyers, whether they're buyers right now or buyers in 6 months. So, and every listing gives you the opportunity to grab more business. The company has, and you'll start to see it more and more, and I'm sure some of your managers have probably talked to you about it, but there is an open house. I'm sorry, there's a new property review tool that Charlene touched base on. I think it was last week. And, the company is going to be promoting, a new contest. And the contest is to go after and pull these property reviews and send them out to your clients and build your listing inventory. The contest will be starting next week. February 20th through March 5th is the first week. And based on you pulling those reports and sending those out to your clients, that's going to give you the opportunity to give you something to kind of focus on and do. And this new program can really help you get to the next level. So really dive into it with your manager, talk about it, make sure that you have a full understanding of what that looks like. And we'll be sharing more and more of that contest with you. The open house activity calendar will be attached today so that you'll be able to utilize it and pull that down. So that's all I've really got today. Charlene, are we moving on to Ken?
Sure. Just before we do that, though, I just want to make a couple of comments about the contest, if I could. We're going to roll it out at next week's meeting, but in the meantime, during this week, we would think that it would be very wise of you to go into the dashboard, pull up the HANA presentation and the review so that you're more familiar with it. You can take a look at, again, the review, we talked about it before, is kind of a different little tool that we have so that you can send it out to your past clients and customers and maybe your sphere of influence, and engage in a conversation with them as well. But the whole point of the contest is to create value. In fact, that's the name of it. And the whole point of it is for you to share with a prospective seller. And this goes to a couple of the points that Lou made, your marketing strategy, a little bit about the company, but more about exposure. Our goal is to expose this property to as many people as we can. And through all of the marketing that we're going to offer to a seller, we want to show them, we want to give them the data that is necessary on these listings, but also equally important, all of the marketing that we're going to be doing to leverage that listing and to expose it to as many people as possible, including doing open houses, which is a win-win for the seller and for the agent. Hobie Hannah always says, for every listing that you bring in, you should be able to get 3 additional sales, 3 additional contacts, whether it's through opens, through signage, through social media, through postcards, like Lou said. I mean, there's so many ways to leverage that listing, but the contest is going to be, just raising our level of awareness as it relates to, all of the value that you as the agent create when you're sitting in front of a seller, to be able to share that. So hoping that's helpful. And I know Ken has some, words of wisdom to share as well. Ken?
Thank you. Everything that Lou said really is about education. And I'm glad I picked this slide for today because this blows me away. This came out of an economic presentation that was done at the beginning of this year. And I have seen this, what do buyers need? Education. 3 out of 4 don't know what they need to do to qualify. I've seen this same question, same fact come up over the last 20 years. And what I think is so important is we need to educate our buyers. Okay. I feel like I should have did you know as my title every week, because how do people not know that they can put less than 20% down? How do they not know what their credit score is? Well, it's because it's never been in any of our education systems. It's never been taught at the high school level. It's never been taught at the university level. So what we have to constantly do is educate our people. How many of you use Google, Apple Maps, Waze to get somewhere? I do all the time. How many of you forget your phone and you don't have GPS in your car and now you got to get somewhere? You are lost. And I think as a society, and I said, this is my opinion, I think a lot of people just will do whatever is told to them and what's in front of them. it's tax season, both of my boys, they'll always ask me about tax, doing their tax return. And it's a subject that I have never been an expert on, but they go online, they type in their information and they're like, boom, I got this return. And I'm like, is it accurate? Did you talk to anybody? No, it's what the computer said. So I believe that a lot of times our business also becomes, well, I'll just go on a computer and it can tell me what I can qualify for a mortgage. I disagree. We have to educate our people. A mortgage is like a snowflake. No two are alike. Everybody's circumstance is different. And if you're not speaking to someone, and if you're accepting a pre-qual letter from a person or a place and your customer saying, well, I didn't talk to anybody, it's what the computer spit out, I really would question that. As Lou said, you're going to talk to people that are looking at houses and properties, but if you don't explain how the market is delivered to them, if you don't explain what the trends, what we're seeing in the past, what we're seeing in the future, what they can expect when they put an offer in, they're not going to really have any idea. I've shared with our mortgage consultants, we have to change our word tracks, and we have to, when we get a referral, please get pre-qualified. The first question we should ask is, tell me what you know about getting a mortgage, and let the person tell you, because what they'll say is, well, I went online, I saw this, I saw that. Okay. So if we can find out what they know, we can then help better educate them. And especially in the markets that we're in right now, especially in the times that we're in right now, where sale prices are increasing, interest rates are trending, they trend up, then they trend down. Where are we? I think we have to educate our people so that 3 out of 4, and that could be first-time home buyers, but it's also your move-up buyers. Hey, we get it all the time. Hey, when I applied 15 years ago, it was different. Exactly. So what we have to constantly do is educate our people. And if we work together as a team, the Hannah agent, the first party mortgage consultant, it is the best way to have people have an understanding and an education. And we've come out with experience.com, and we're getting a high 4.85 average rating out of 5. And our people are saying they were thorough, they were knowledgeable. Please help your people to be educated, help us help them, because we know that you're helping them on the real estate side. So my did you know for the week is education. Thank you.
And we appreciate you educating us every week too, with some great information. So let's move on. Speaking of education, it's a great segue into our next slide, which is the education that we have coming up in the next week. And one in particular, which is a Zoom this Thursday, is What's Fair About Fair Housing with Jackie Casara, who is a great educator. So this is perfect too, this time of year, for you to learn a little bit more about fair housing. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Mahatma Gandhi, we love that quote. So thank you for that. And Lisa, can you go back to the education slide for a moment? Yes, and there's a town hall getting involved with your realtor associations on Friday, and that will be hosted, I believe, by NAR treasurer. And so probably some really good information there, and several other training sessions that you can access on the dashboard as well. So thank you for that. And the next, we have a cool agent icon quote. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, which is oh so true. And so we love to start our Monday mornings with Live from Western New York, to bring our leadership team in front of you and to share insights, to learn more about Western New York market through our office spotlights. And we hope that it helps you to start your week great. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.